Let's talk a little bit about a fitness plan. What do you mean about a fitness plan for our finances? How does that get started?
Well, fitness, and I have a background, I was a college athlete, and so I've enjoyed the idea of having a fitness plan, staying in shape, eating right, those types of things. And a lot of times this gets lost in retirement because, Spike, at the end of the day, if you have wealth but your health isn't good, it doesn't do you any good, and vice versa, right?
Let me ask you about that real quick, because as we're talking about fitness, and I know this to be true, I had a trainer once who just broke me. And eventually I stopped going to this trainer because I'm like, this is exhausting. But didn't you always work harder and work better when you had a coach guiding you along? No matter how fit you wanted to get, no matter what the sport was.
Yes.
Did you ever play a sport without a coach?
No, never.
Did you ever work out your hardest without a coach?
Never. Only my wife is capable of, like, she's the most self-motivated person I've ever seen as far as being able to just push herself to the limits. But for me, I've always had a coach, with training, with everything. And it's the same advantage with a financial coach, right? Mm-hmm. Is having somebody to come alongside you that can take a look at what you're doing that is not you, and is not self-limiting on what you're capable of, but also looking forward at, what is, because listen, working out at 65 is different than working out at 35. It's a different approach.
Mm-hmm. And using a different set of financial muscles, if you will. Man, we could take this analogy quite a long way. But it's more, honestly, so at 65, your fitness is more about stretching. It's more about yoga, and it's more about stretching your dollars, stretching your say. Am I doing well here,
You're
Tim?
doing well.
Okay.
It's also about what you do in the kitchen. My trainer buddy that I've known for years, a good friend of mine, said that abs are found in the kitchen, not in the gym.
Wow, nice. I like that. I like that a lot.
So, having that healthy lifestyle is going to ensure that it's not just the longevity. We don't want to just get older in retirement, but we want to get older and feel good. And so, as we look at the idea of a fitness plan, of healthy eating, of healthy choices for us and our spouse, because it takes two, it's very difficult for you to eat chicken and rice and your spouse is eating donuts.
Right.
So,
but what's I want to pull you back. What's the chicken and rice, though, of the financial plan? So while we're mixing our metaphors here.
The chicken and rice is the income plan, for sure. It's making sure that we're not going to run out of money. That's the number one fear in retirement. And it's making sure that our income is going to keep up with inflation and with taxes.
All right. So what's the donuts of our income plan? Is that spending on the grandkids? I wanted to ask you about how, the kids, the family, we love them, the grandkids, we want to help out with the weddings and maybe the first house, and everybody's got graduations.
Sometimes you got to say no.
Really?
Sometimes you got to say no, Spike. And we've seen this in the office a lot, where somebody comes in and their grandparents are so excited because they've been accepted to this college. They've got a partial scholarship, but they're still looking at $20,000, $30,000 a year maybe in additional costs. And the grandparents are like, we want to help out with that. Now the right question is, can we? And how much? Okay. Not just, I love my grandkids and I want to spend this money.
Right.
The same thing goes for the parents, because we see this a lot as well, where a parent will come in and they're talking about maybe putting their retirement savings on hold to be able to finance the kids' college.
This is huge today, Tim, because inflation is really high. We're hearing this a lot. We've got calls in from the radio show as well saying, I'm not putting as much into my retirement account because I'm trying to help the kids pay off college, try to keep those loans down. Right. But let's be honest here. The parents have a shorter timeline now to their retirement. The kids have a lot more time to make it up. I'm not saying that we don't love the kids. I'm not saying that we don't want to help them out, but we've got to balance this out, because once you get to retirement, do you know if your kids are going to be able to spend that $20,000 or $30,000 or $40,000 a year on you in your 80s or 90s?
And the written plan, the retirement blueprint, will do that for people. It will define that extra bucket, right? And so the extra bucket we talked about, earlier as being, maybe a vacation pool. It could also be something that we help the grandkids or we help the kids out, but it's defined. We know what we have to work with.
Yeah, yeah.